Hello, everyone. Are you feeling all zen after that countdown? I sure am. Welcome to Lunch for the Soul. My name is Melissa Wilson with Fox 26 News. I'm usually a morning news anchor, but I am also a medical reporter for Fox 26. And I love being able to share interesting guests with you to introduce you to people who I feel like we can really learn from. It's going to be a little different this week. I often talk to patients who are having a medical crisis. They use their faith and the most incredible healthcare workers in Houston to help heal them. But today is going to be about us all figuring out how to live healthy day in and day out. What are the keys to health? What are the keys to good mental health and feeling our very best day in and day out? Do I ever have a guest to introduce you to that's going to help us with a lot of insight? So without further ado, let's bring in Kevin Mack. Hello, Kevin. Welcome to Lunch for the Soul.
Good morning, good morning, good morning,
Good,
everybody. Good to
good to
see everybody.
Yeah, we're glad to have you here. So we are talking about you are a licensed professional counselor with Mac Counseling. Tell me what a typical day looks like for you before you give us some of these really important keys to life.
Absolutely. A typical day for me, actually, I wake up at 4 a.m. every morning to exercise, kind of gets my head right, gets the blood flowing and things like that. After my 4 a.m. workout, I do some notes. I do my clinical notes. From there, get the kids ready to go to school, then head on to the office around 7:30, 8 or so.
You're a busy guy. That's a good way to start the day. I love that. Okay, so you are really going to talk to us a bit about realizing what we value in life. And I think we are so busy doing what you're talking about, the daily grind, trying to get that to-do list done, that sometimes we forget what's most important in life. But you help people figure that out?
Absolutely. First, I'd like to tell you all a little bit about what we do with Mac Counseling. So, started out in the field, been in the field for about 15 years now, worked at a lot of the big mental health agencies, the Harris
Mhm.
Center, Texana, the state of Texas, also a couple of the psychiatric facilities. Um, when I started off, I filled up very quickly within a month or so. And after I filled up, I started reaching out to potential students that was also in the counseling field so I could teach them the things that I know too as well, because I could only see so many people in the course of a week. But if I teach this student and this intern, then we could multiply our outreach. So that's kind of what we're doing now. We really value, our mission is in developing people. And as far as the values in the self-care, it is very, very important. It is very critical that we know the things that are most important to us and that we also are actively engaging in self-care. I know it can seem daunting at some times,
Mhm.
but it's very important that we do focus on ourselves from time to time and we pour in to our own cups daily. So often we pour in to everybody else's cup and then we're drained and we're empty. And who pours into us? You know, my question to your viewers is, whose responsibility is it to pour into our own cup?
Yeah. Well, it is ourselves. And I think so many times, and especially I have teenagers, so I really think that looking at their lives, it's easy to start valuing what your friends value or what your colleagues value, but we need to figure out what what we want in life, right? And our own
Mhm.
values and not let that be shaped. What is it that we want? How do you help your clients figure that out? Because I feel like when you have your why in life and your hierarchy of what's important to you, everything just seems to so easily fall into place.
Absolutely, 100%. The why is so important to us. And like you were saying, it can kind of get cluttered. It can get discombobulated as far as what is most important to us because so many other people can put their values onto us. And what we need to realize is not necessarily what's most important to him and not what's most important to her, but what is most important to us in our life. So, one thing we do here at Matt Counseling is those are two of the first things that we do: self-care and values exploration. We need to identify what are the things that really move the needle for us in our life. I was speaking to you a little earlier, Melissa, before we joined on,
Mhm.
about a news article that I read this morning, how America has actually fallen out of the top 20 happiest places to be. And that in large part is due to social lack of social connections, not having gratitude, and not knowing purpose, not knowing what our purpose are. And that's where the values come in. That is what our purpose is. So just if I could share some values real quick, is that okay?
I want you to,
Sometimes we
because that's what gives us our purpose in life, right? Is figuring those out. So let's go through them.
absolutely. So some of the values are, and they're different for everybody, and we're not wrong for valuing what we value, but love, wealth, family, success, knowledge, power, friends, free time, adventure, variety, honesty. We can value humor. We can value loyalty, independence. We can value beauty, spirituality. We can value spirituality, and spirituality is different than religion. Some of us value respect or peace or even stability and wisdom and fairness and
Mhm.
creativity, relaxation can be of a value to us. So there's many things that we can value, and it's important. One thing that we do is we try to have people identify the top 10 things that they value in life, and with that top 10 things, I recommend that they take this list, they keep it close to them, and once a week, reflect on it. Reflect on the things that really breathe life into us, the things that we do value the most in life.
That is, and I love that you're saying this, and I want to break those down even more. Let's talk about self care, because I think as a medical reporter, what I hear day in and day out is the keys to life. You have to eat healthy because you are what you eat. You have to exercise. You got to, get the heart pumping. You've got to get quality sleep. And all we know, it's a proven fact that all of those things can lower your chance for different types of conditions, for disease. We need to do those things, but it goes
Absolutely.
so much beyond that, doesn't it? That we got to do more, a whole lot more.
Correct, correct. 100%. When we think of self care, a lot of times that's exactly what we think of. Like you said, Melissa, exercise, eat right, sleep well. That's self care. But like you said, it goes far beyond just that. That is only physical self care. There's also psychological and emotional self care, there's social self care, there's spiritual self care. And like I said, spirituality is different than religion. There's professional self care too, as well. I wanted to kind of go into some of those sections. I had some key ones I wanted to tell you all about. If
Yeah,
that's
and you
okay,
know what?
Melissa?
It is. I would love if, since this is lunch for the soul, if we can start with the spiritual self-care, because like you said, spirituality can mean so much to so many people. So let's break that down a little bit. And we are talking about praying can make a really big difference in people's lives. Meditating and just slowing down your mind and body and just being still can make a difference. Just spending some time outdoors, listening to the birds sing can make a difference. How important are these, and what are some other things when it comes to our spirituality do we really need to keep in the forefront of our minds?
I'm glad that you want to start off with spirituality because it is important. In the misconception, some people think spirituality means religion, and that's not necessarily the case. Religion is about the entity, the church, the mosque, the temple, this, that, or another. But like you said, Melissa, spirituality is also spending time in nature. And spending time in nature does not necessarily mean being in the middle of the woods. You can go outside in the front, you can go in the back, anywhere outside. Meditating. Meditating is important too, like you had mentioned. One thing we teach here at Mac Counseling is not to run from our thoughts, not to hide from our thoughts, but be aware of our thoughts. And this is more of a mindfulness type of thing, but we need to have that inner peace. Praying too, as well, is also a component of spiritual self care, setting time aside for thought and reflection. That also goes with, like I was saying, with the values. If we can reflect on our values and the times that we were able to engage in the things that are most meaningful to us, it does a great deal. And also, this is critical too. Participating in causes that are important to us. When we make things bigger than just us, where we have a different cause, where we're helping other people or we're helping different organizations, that's also spiritual self care.
Okay, I just think that is so important. So remember, everybody, we just talked about all the things we're going to do, eat, all that. We're going to add spiritual now. We're going to remember that. Now let's move on to professional, because obviously we probably have some students joining us, and so that would work for that too. But when we think about profession, we need to think about how we're not just in the daily grind. We're not just getting a paycheck, because I think if you're going to work for the money, you're going to be miserable. But we can find ways to maybe make ourselves a little better every day. Maybe you can find a project that you are so passionate about. I'm a medical reporter because I love the medical field. I love helping people learn new ways to help themselves. Things like those can really make a difference at work so that you love your job, right?
Excellent, excellent, excellent. One of the things we can do for professional self-care, improve our professional skills. A lot of time, if we're currently on a job or an occupation, there is opportunities for growth and development. There's free opportunities at times. You can take advantage of those. Say no to excessive new responsibilities. We don't have to take everything on until we get burnt out. But we can also, on the flip side of that, take on projects that are interesting and rewarding to us, whether it's at our current job or if it's outside of our job. But like we said before, things that really truly breathe life into us. Also, learning new things related to your profession. Maybe you want to level up and go to the next step. Learn what that would take to get to the next level. Make time to build relationships with colleagues. Now, we might not like everybody on our job, but we can still foster these relationships. And critical, maintain balance between your professional and personal life. Have a shut off time. After this time, I'm powering down. I'm not doing any more. Those are just a few things to touch on, but also taking breaks too as well.
Oh, that's so important. Just get up and move. If you forget and you get distracted, wear a smartwatch because it's always telling you you need to get up. I get reminders all the time. Go move. And I do feel refreshed after just literally walking into the break room and getting a fresh water or something. So I do think that's important. Okay, so we know that we're going to do our self-care, the typical things we're doing, the everything about our spirituality. We did the professionalism. Now let's get into psychological self-care. Mental health is so incredibly important. And I feel like a lot of times it's one of the last ones we talk about. And that can mean anything from just doing something you adore. Maybe it's a hobby. Expressing your feelings, not keeping everything locked inside is so important. Remembering to laugh. I mean, just a few things that we can do to truly make our lives better.
100%. You're absolutely right. I'm going to start off with what you were saying with participating in hobbies. Do the things that we enjoy doing. For me personally, I like fishing. I like fishing, so I try to go fishing once a month. Some people like gardening. Some people like music and arts. Engage in those things. Participate in hobbies, but also get away from distractions too as well. It is so easy nowadays to be distracted with our phones or notifications or our emails or this, that, or another. But take some time away from these distractions. Learn new things unrelated to work. Learn new things that are unrelated to our day to days. Also, expressing our feelings in a healthy way is important too. We can do that through journaling. Is something that we're a proponent to. Also, talking to people too. Recognize our own strengths and achievements is another thing under psychological self-care. Recognize the things that we do well. A lot of times that gets overlooked. People on the outside can see these great things about us, but sometimes we lack seeing those within ourselves. Also, going on vacations and day trips are a good thing too as well. We don't always have to go to Jamaica or to Europe or here or there. We can go to Galveston. We can go to here or there. It doesn't have to be that far, but just anywhere out of the norm is helpful. And finding a reason to laugh. This is one that I really like to do. I have this show that always makes me laugh. I'll turn it on at nighttime, but finding reasons to laugh. Also doing something comforting. We all have favorite movies or TV shows or something like that, or even taking a bath too as well. Maybe putting some Epsom salt, lighting a candle, and relaxing, taking your mind off of the day to day.
Those all sound perfect and really so important. Laughter is the best medicine. We know that. It tastes the best of them all. Let's talk about social self-care. And I think this one is incredibly interesting because, of course, that means hanging out with people you love and adore. But it also means just stopping for a minute and spending some time alone with yourself. And that's a healthy thing to do. And remembering that you don't have to be in this world alone. You can ask for help when you need it. All of those things are so important.
Can definitely ask for help when you need it. Being alone is not necessarily a bad thing. We just don't want it to be an all the time thing. We do want to be
Mhm.
able to have the ability to engage with other people, spending time with people that we like. I like this one. This is a recommendation that I use a lot, but calling or writing friends that are far away. Call somebody that you haven't talked to in a long time. Also, meeting new people. Meeting new people. If we don't have that circle or those connections like we would like to have, we can meet new people. Also, Melissa, asking for help when we need it. We all need help from time to time, and we have to muster up the gumption and the ability to ask for it. We have to ask for the help when we do need it. And also, having stimulating conversations is important too, as well. I think I said spending time with people that we like, keeping in touch with old friends. Those are all great ways of social self care.
And you know what's so interesting about all of this is that when you start listing these things out, and I'm just sitting here listening to you, when you would say them, I would find myself feeling lighter. I would feel myself smiling. All of those things brought comfort to me with every single one of your self-care steps. So we think about if you make that a priority in your life, think about how much better it's going to make you feel day in and day out.
Absolutely. We need to make it a priority in our life, and it does help us even thinking about it. When I'm talking with clients or people, I have them think of a time when they did engage in it and ask them, what would it look like if you were to do this? So they get the mental picture in their mind of what that would look like. And like you said, Melissa, when you got that picture in your mind, it did something to you inside, didn't it? So plan these things
Absolutely,
out.
it did.
We
Just like that.
we must make them a priority. We have to make them
Mhm,
a priority. We have to put ourselves first from time to time. And one thing I do personally is I'll schedule it in my day. I will put it on my calendar. A lot of times our calendars are synced up to our phones. I have
mhm,
free time, and self care does not take a long time. All of these things don't take a long time. Some of these things take 5 minutes. But one thing I do recommend is that we try, and we're not perfect, but I do recommend that we try to engage in something daily. Sometimes we have busy days and we're not able to have as much free time as other days, and then we
mhm,
do something that only takes 5 minutes or so. But it is very, very important, like I said in the beginning, is that we do pour into our own cups, and that's how we make ourselves a priority. And also setting boundaries around that. It's so easy to, oh, okay, well, I'll throw this in that time block because it's free, or I'll throw this in there, and then we neglect ourselves. But we cannot neglect ourselves. We have to put ourselves first. We're valuable, and we need to understand that and make
mhm.
it a point.
Yeah, I was thinking about that when life is so busy, or maybe you're in crisis mode for whatever reason right now. And we did have a lot of lists and we had a lot of different categories. I mean, do you suggest that people really maybe think about pulling from one category each day, or really how do you concentrate on that and break it down and not just say, I'm going to do that, but how do you truly make that a reality in your life and make it a priority?
That's an excellent question. That's an excellent question. So what I do is I have people identify the things they want to do, because let's be honest, everything does
Mhm.
not work for everybody. But what we need to do is find what our sweet spot is. And when we find the things that work for us, let's make a list of these eight, nine, 10, or however many different things there are. And what I recommend we do is the day before, we pick one of the things off of the list to do the next day. And the reason I ask people to plan it the day before is because, like I said, maybe they have a lot of, maybe we have a lot of stuff going on, and we don't have as much time, so we pick something that doesn't take as long. But what else it does, it gets us prepared. It gets us mentally prepared to engage in this activity. We've thought about it in our mind, we saw that picture, and we're more likely to do it if we plan it the day before. So make a list of these things that are important to you, these things that really breathe life into you. And the night before, pick what you're going to do. Pick what you're going to do and be intentional about doing it. Now, we're not going to be perfect, but as much as you can, and you will see the difference in your life. I can't hear you, Melissa.
I tell you what, you've inspired me, and I know you have inspired our viewers. Thank you for sharing these tips. I want to remind people they can go to mattcounseling.com for more information from you. Thank you for making such a difference.
Absolutely, it's my pleasure. You all, if any of you need any help or have any questions about anything we talked to today, please, like Melissa said, contact us on our website, or you can call us at 346-279-8175.
Ooh, I tell you what, you can inspire the world. You keep up the good work, Kevin. It's such an honor to be able to spend time with you today.
Excellent.
Thanks for being an incredible guest here. And we got the fireworks going off with you. All right. Thanks, Kevin. And I just want to remind you all, maybe you joined us late today. You can always go to our Fox 26 YouTube page, or you can go to fox26houston.com and you can find all my Lunch for the Souls there. I hope you'll join us next week. Same time, same place. That's 12:30 here on Fox 26. Hope to see you back next week. Have a beautiful day. We'll see you next time.